Hello.
Oh my gosh, great to meet you, Kris.
How are you?
Oh, I'm
Nice to meet you,
It's so lovely
Tyler.
meeting you. Oh my gosh, I cannot
Did
believe
you
I'm
know
meeting
where
you.
you were going?
I had no clue at all, so this is
They
like...
don't tell you anything?
Ever, never.
Wow.
So I'm like in shock.
I'm Kris Jenner, and Tyler might recognize me from the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. My daughter Khloé is going to join me today. I think I'm a little nervous. I've never had a reading before.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming
so
over.
A shock, but I'm really excited to do this. It'll be fun.
Didn't you give the girls a reading?
Very briefly. Khloé had me talk about like intuition, and she was curious about her own intuition. So that's kind of what the meeting was about.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so they were lovely.
Well, so what's amazing, you're 20.
Yes.
So you're like my Kendall's age.
Right.
How long have you been doing this?
Well, you know, it's all started when I was 10 years old.
Why is she interviewing him?
How did you know that you like had your gift to help somebody else? Like,
The f is her problem?
do you have a religious belief that you talk about?
I want to scream. Shut up, Mom.
I've been a born-again Christian since I was an adult. So for me,
Can
this
he
is-
read for you, please? You're
What?
like, you're just chatting like it's Sunday brunch. Like, let him do it like he's so magical.
Oh, wow. She's losing her mind.
Don't give her any more alcohol.
I'm just so excited to hear what he's going to say.
Now, obviously, you're a very public figure. So for me, my goal in doing readings is to always get information that there's no way I could know. So the goal in doing this is just to get specifics, and that's really what I'm going to try. So at this point, you know, if you have any questions about your personal life, we can try to look into that.
What about health?
Health? Yeah, sure.
not?
Keep in mind, when it comes to your eyesight, like there's a random decrease in vision. So if you notice any changes along those lines, like go to a doctor and get that checked before it would ever become an issue.
No, that's so crazy though, because my vision has been really weird lately,
Interesting.
but really weird.
Yeah.
And I haven't told anybody that.
For sure.
Nobody knows about my eyesight.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. You should be a doctor. You really, I don't need to go to the doctor now. I'm good. The older I get, the more interested I am in medical. But I'm like, what? Nobody else would know, especially about the eyes. And that's what blew my mind, truly.
Obviously, you brought an object, I see.
I did.
And oftentimes I'll hold on to an object. Do you mind if I hold on to that?
Of course.
by chance? Okay. Now, I don't want to know who this belongs to or
Don't
anything
turn
along
it
those
over.
lines. No worries. I will keep it down.
Okay.
I'll just go and we'll see what comes through.
Okay.
Okay. All right. No pressure. Let's see.
Oh, you're so cute.
Oh, there's a lot popping in. Okay, I've got you, and you. Okay. Okay, and I have people who are like in-laws coming through, I'm thinking, but I don't know. So do you...
There were a lot of them.
Yes. I feel like he comes through as a grandfatherly figure. There's a reference to a William that I have to highlight.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
My stepdad's dad.
You're showing me a tree, like an oak tree, and I'm not sure why, but like if someone worked in an orchard, or like...
He was a tree surgeon.
What's that?
He's his job was trimming trees. He had a company, and they would send people out to somebody's house, and they would trim a tree.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, that's Caitlyn's dad, William. He died years ago.
Oh.
That's crazy.
For sure.
Oh my God.
What's interesting about this is that William is with a son that's deceased that would have
Yeah.
passed away in a car accident. Do you know this?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
The way that this comes across, and there's a feeling that comes through with this, it's like, I'm sorry about what the car represented. It's not the car, it's what it represented.
Makes sense.
It's what the car represented. I
Yeah.
don't know what that means, but he's
I do.
apologizing not only for the event, but for what it represented and how it would have affected his brother, I'm thinking.
Caitlyn's brother, Bert, died decades ago. When Caitlyn was Bruce Jenner and competed in the Olympic Games, somebody had loaned Bruce a brand new Porsche sports car. And Bert took it for a spin, and he accidentally went off the side of the road or did something and was killed in the car accident.
Oh, wow.
So it was really, really sad.
I'm so
And he was so young
Yeah.
and really looked up to his, big brother. But that's how that all makes such perfect sense. It's so crazy.
He didn't want Bruce at the time to feel the guilt, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Ultimately, they're okay. And most importantly, they're together.
Yeah. Well, I will tell Caitlin.
Awesome. Thank you.
I will. That's so, I'm sure she'll be very excited to hear that.
We're going to talk about Robert Kardashian. I do have a man that's fitting this kind of bill of passing away before his time, but he references to an illness. He makes a very close connection on the other side with his mother. He's like, I'm with mom. You would know I'm with mom. Like, there's this connection, and it's like this. There's a joke about two things, funny enough. He's having me say monkey, and either joke about someone's nickname being monkey, or a monk, like...
He had a monkey, a stuffed monkey, when he was a kid named Zacco.
Wow.
And so Khloé has the monkey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and that makes sense. If she's in the room, that could be why.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
And then really quickly, just on a last note, there's a joke about, I'm seeing a window, and it's a decision about something window related.
That is crazy. I don't think anybody knows that.
It's so weird.
We're gonna replace those windows right there.
Was this a conversation that would have just been had recently?
A couple days ago.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
That's strange.
I know, see? You never know who's watching over you.
Never do, or watching your windows.
Listening to your window conversations.
Well, if only they would wash them.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be much more convenient.
Can you pass that message back?
I am.
Okay, thank you.
Grab the Windex. At this point, I'll ask you, who did this belong to?
Robert. Yeah, turn it over.
Yes.
You'll see.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so special. What an amazing
Really
thing
cool.
to get to have.
Yeah.
Look, obviously, when people watch the show, they're going to think, in watching this, well, of course Tyler's going to connect to Robert Kardashian, because, of course, that's who everybody knows. But for me, I find oftentimes the more ambiguous, the random details, like the window thing, and those are the
window
details.
thing nobody would know,
Right,
because
right.
I've never mentioned it to one person.
I believe that all of those details, came from him and are his way of connecting.
Well, that's exactly why it's important.
Right.
I could see the look on Tyler's face, and he was like smiling every time he talked about Daddy.
Right.
Because he was laughing, going, oh, there's a joke about, and I'm like, that's so your dad.
Got two energies coming through at once. I have like a couple people that passed in tragedies, but I don't. The only other thing I can mention is this man that's insisting to come through really, really strongly. A man that would be on like father's generation. This wouldn't be what I would consider a recent passing, so probably not within the past 5 years or anything along those lines. The reference with his passing is an acknowledgement that he passed away quickly, abruptly, and without people expecting him to go. And this is a unique thing. There's a reference to a vehicular accident that I have to highlight. I'm calling this an event that I'm wanting to highlight. I don't want you to give anything away, but do you know even possibly who that could be? Be a generation above you?
Yes.
Okay. I'm correct in saying that this is your dad coming through, right? Okay.
My real dad.
Right?
Actually, his name, my real biological father's name was Robert, and he was killed in a car accident when he went on vacation. And it was abrupt and really, it was horrible. It was so many years ago now. You have, your heart has time to heal, and you always regret what you never got to say.
The father figure that I'm connecting with is making it a point to acknowledge that, do you know of anyone like, that was like Mary Jo or Mary something, or like, it's kind of confusing. I don't know if it's two names or what, but the example that's coming through is like Mary Jo, Mary Ann.
Well, Mary Jo's my mom, but she's not deceased.
Okay, no problem. He's making it a point to acknowledge that he feels like he's apologetic towards Mary Jo being your mother.
Yeah. My parents were divorced when I was really young. And then when, he had moved to a different state for a while, and we really didn't see him that much. And then we reconnected when I was a teenager, like 15, 16, and he was killed in a car accident. And my mom got married later in life, and we were really close to my stepdad, Harry. They both felt like my dad, but the whole thing makes sense.
Yeah. And he's acknowledging a feeling of a sense of closure with that situation, and he still watches over you and still comes through for you, regardless of how relationships and situations go. He still has that connection.
My real dad passed away years ago, but it was just really great to hear that he was watching over us, and it's just really peaceful.
It's really confusing. Sorry, give me one second. I'm like, this other energy. You know, I'm gonna go with it a little bit more and
Okay.
I'll let you give me the validation.
Okay.
So there's a lot there, but there definitely is this energy that's coming through. But I don't know what this is. This man was killed in a vehicular-related incident.
She knows who that is.
The only way I can really put this is it's a feeling of like, I wish I would have communicated more in life and now I get my chance.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my God. I wish I could run in there and say, wait, but you're like missing a huge thing. We can't ask questions.
Or something along those lines. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just want to get it out there because it's there and it's coming through, and all the other information has been pretty relevant.
Hi.
Hello. Oh, you are looking beautiful.
How are you?
Good. So good to see you.
You look so pretty, by the way.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Good. Did you hear him talk about the monkey?
Yeah, it's Jocko, not
Jocko.
Jocko. But I
Jocko.
agree. There's things like obviously that
Yeah.
no one would know that, no matter what. But I have a question. When you said there's like two strong male figures coming through, did you say two of them were a car accident?
Yeah, there were technically 2 car accidents. So, I
So
was thinking,
that's why I was thinking it was Papa Harry and your real dad.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Who you
I
were
thought there was
saying.
just one abruptly because Papa Harry was in an accident, but he died like
He was in an accident
18
that
weeks
cracked his
later.
sternum, and he's the one that wanted you to know that he's okay and he has closure, and he's the one who brought up MJ, which is Mary Jo. And then the other one was the one.
See, now that makes sense.
Yeah, it often does once other family is able to validate.
Like
That's
someone-
why I'm so glad you were here. Because I'm hearing this and I'm so nervous. It's like, who's he talking about? Who's he talking about? But
Totally.
that was Papa Harry. To have that reminder and to have that feeling is so comforting to know that he's still coming through.
I'm so glad. That's really the goal. They don't require a medium necessarily. I mean, it's all.
Right, it's your dad.
I know. It just makes me sad.
It should be like happy sad.
Yeah. My mom, MJ, will love that.
I know, you gotta tell her.
Yes. I don't know if I would have gotten through it quite the same without Khloé here, because it gave me such a sense of just support. Because it's emotional, and I was nervous, and I've never done that before.
I think when you felt validate, like, oh, he is real. Okay, this is legit. I felt you were getting like, you were becoming more vulnerable. Your guards were coming down,
Yeah.
and you were more trusting.
It's
I think
definitely a process for me. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Best.
So awesome.
Thank
you so
you.
much.
I thought it was fantastic. I think he definitely has a gift, and some of the things he said, nobody else would know.
Oh, that just happened. That's like, it's gonna take, I don't even have words.
I believe, so you're a non-believer, so I'm happy you believe now.
It's wild.
Oh my God, I just read. I can't, I don't even, I just, I can't.
It felt genuine and peaceful, and coming from Tyler made it very easy for me because I was so skeptical. I'm gonna invite Tyler over for dinner very soon.
That reading was absolutely insane.
Okay.
Absolutely insane.
And who was it?
Well, it was Kris Jenner and Khloé Kardashian. Nope. That was quite the reaction. I know. So see, that's what I felt.
Oh
That was
my
what-
God.
That was my thought.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Were you intimidated at all?
I mean, initially it was like, holy, this is Kris Jenner's house I'm walking into.
Tyler?
So yeah,
I
it was
can't
really
believe that. Yes.
Yes.
This is Calabasas.
Calabasas.
And this is the same place we poured into last time when we read the Kardashians.
That's right. I also live in Calabasas.
Justin Bieber. Your twin.
I wish.
We do get quite a few comments about that looking like him.
From
Young
middle-aged to elderly
Oh.
women who are
A
blinded
warped
to
vision.
Yes.
Blind or deaf.
Spectacles.
Do you have any idea who it is at all?
Maybe a Kardashian.
Maybe a
Let's
Kardashian.
see. As we started getting close to the location, this was looking awfully familiar. Oh,
Hi guys! Oh my God.
I am Khloé Kardashian, and I'm on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
This is Kylie. She's literally your biggest fan.
Yeah, I really am.
Good to see you. Oh, it's gonna be
thank you for
incredible.
coming.
When the door opened, I just saw Khloé, and then I looked over and I saw Kylie standing there, and I was not expecting to see her. So good to see you.
I'm gonna
Oh my
watch.
gosh. Awesome.
I'm here for support.
Perfect. All right.
I've actually met Tyler a few times. I had him come out to my home to give my home an energy reading. And then I also met him again when he gave my mother a reading. He knew things about my mom that are not something that you could just Google. It were things before the internet was around, and I think it's an honor to have a reading from him.
Okay.
Kylie's gonna sit there.
Perfect.
And we're
Awesome.
gonna go over here.
All right. I'll
Bye,
see you.
Kylie.
Bye.
I do think it is important to have somebody else watching an experience like this. So I'm really happy that Kylie came.
What the This is like a serious contraption.
The way that I typically work is I'll hold onto an object. Did you bring any objects today at all?
I did. I have an object.
Cool. Great.
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
hold on to it, and we'll go from there. Perfect.
That's
Oh
my,
my God.
that's my
Yes.
little object.
That's so sweet.
I brought a stuffed animal toy monkey that was my father's since he's been a child. And when Tyler was reading my mom, he kept gathering, someone has a monkey. I don't know, I keep seeing a monkey. And I was in the other room like, oh my God, I have the monkey. Like, my mom didn't even remember the monkey's name.
Okay, so I'll scribble, I'll just kind of communicate everything that's coming through, and then we'll kind of backtrack, and I'll ask you what makes sense.
Okay.
So let's see. Okay. There's a feeling that comes across, and it is in reference to Dad's passing. There's a feeling of not having full closure of like being actually to be there in the moment of passing. There's a feeling of like, I don't want you to be here when I'm actually passing away. It's like, I for your sake, I want you to just not have that in your memory.
It's interesting because he passed when they weren't there, I think.
And there's a feeling when this comes through that he actually would have timed his passing. The feeling is that he was holding on and he was waiting.
Right.
And that would have been done with purpose and with intention.
Yeah. His parents didn't know he was dying.
Right.
He just kept it a secret, so he wanted them to come and see him.
Right.
And then he wanted to say goodbye to them and like say goodbye to all of us. And then after everyone left, he ended up like passing away.
And that was his way of having closure. So please know that.
Aww. This was my dad's stuffed animal since he's been a baby.
Right.
And he always kept it in his closet, just always had it.
Right.
And when he was dying, we had a hospice at our home, and he kept asking for the monkey. The monkey's name is Jocko. And it was in his bed, like, when he passed away. It's something I've had since he's passed away, and I've kept it with me at every house that I've had or whatnot, so it's, you know, like, really sentimental to me. So it's a beautiful thing to have Tyler be able to channel that for me.
So I want to mention this. I'm talking about your dad. There is a funny joke, a situation where a bird slams into a window and just... And it's like a whole thing of like the bird keeps slamming into the window. What is it with windows? When I talk to you and your mom, windows keep coming through.
I know, right?
Randomly, there's a situation where a bird slams against a window and it's like a funny, like, okay, not that it's funny, but it keeps happening over and over and over again.
I know exactly what that is. That's so funny. He had an office at our old house, and it was like covered in windows, and a woodpecker would always shatter the window, and it would happen like at least once a month. It would be constant. Like, my dad would get the window fixed, and it would happen again, the same window pane. They wouldn't move to a different window. It was just a weird thing, but it happened time and time again. And it's interesting that that was something that he picked up on.
He's putting a really strong emphasis on a symbol that I see of being equal. And there's an acknowledgement with each sibling, there's an acknowledgement of an equal amount of love. But when it comes to family and responsibility, he views a lot of the responsibility that exists as being put on you more than others. He sees himself as being very similar to you because your dad was very motivated and a hard worker no matter what, and you're very much the same way. It's not to say that other family members aren't hard workers, because clearly they are. But he's coming through and basically acknowledging that you've had to take on or compensate some responsibilities that your sisters might or should have maybe done. And you've been left with having to do them. And when he comes through, there's a feeling of complete pride because he sees himself in you, in your ability to do that. To toggle, to navigate, to juggle all of these different things. And I just want you to know your dad sees himself in you more than anyone.
Oh, thank you. Kind of in the midst of chaos, for some reason I thrive and I tend to do a lot better in my life. I don't know why I'm like that, and I guess my dad was the same way, like looking back, like in hindsight. To hear that my dad acknowledges that I take on more of a load, that means a lot to me, and how he thinks that him and I are very similar in that way.
I think I'm gonna talk to you about your personal life if you're interested in that. Okay, let me see. We've got this, and this. Okay, this just came through really strongly. Skin. I'm saying skin, I'm referencing to what looks like melanoma. I'm getting a reference to 3 separate situations that I view as being like problemed areas. You have a susceptibility on your back, and there's a susceptibility on your leg, and I need you to keep both in mind. This is huge.
I've had melanoma on my back.
Really? Okay.
But never on my leg, so where else?
And then there's one in a, God, I wrote this. One in a little bit more of a private area.
Okay.
All right?
Got it.
We're good.
Got it.
All right, so, yep. So, oh geez. Did not think this was how I was gonna start my Tuesday, but.
I am susceptible to skin cancer. I've had it twice before, but everything's fine, and I get checked every 3 months. I actually thrive off information so I can do something about it.
Do you have any questions about your current love life situation?
I don't know, not specifically.
No problem. Just wanted to
But let's talk about it, because that came to you for a reason. So what do you want to talk about?
Yeah. I want to handle this totally sensitively and with what you're comfortable with. So, when it comes to your previous situation, I feel like I do want to go there, and I just really want to emphasize. The acknowledgement is basically a feeling of it's just important that he doesn't isolate himself.
Yeah.
As I think he may have a tendency to do.
Yeah.
And that's something that, we can only control so much of. You can't control someone else's actions.
Right.
It is not your responsibility.
Right.
So I just hope he stays in the state.
Okay.
He would need to stay in California.
Okay. I try to keep him at a distance.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just a toxic relationship for me, just even being friends.
Sure.
But I want to make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Never hurts to have support.
Yeah.
Thank you. Whoa, okay, this is interesting. There's a man with an M name that I don't care for, and it's not like a traditional name, like Michael. There's going to be a man with an odd M name, so it's like Marco or Marcos. This person is going to be romantically interested, and let's just say no.
Okay.
So sorry, Marcos, or whoever you are, but whoever this is, just remember, that's a big red X.
Notice someone with an M.
Okay, perfect.
Well, I'm not going to date anyone that starts with the letter M. He did not like that. I don't even know what the hell that would be, but good. So you keep saying my next boyfriend or whatever. Do you not see anything about my current boyfriend?
Lovely luck, because we might be fine there. I mean, I think in the way this kind of comes across, I always tell people I'll see an area and I'll see when a part of our lives are going to kind of reach a peak. So whether we're in something currently or in 2 years, we're going to kind of reach this point. I generally kind of view what is a good opportunity based on what's peaking.
Right.
And for you, I really am feeling like love life is not the area right now that is reaching its peak. Career is really that area. So one of the challenges that's coming through is a referral of ultimately being distance, but in a physical sense. What comes through is literally, I'm seeing a clock in the way that this pops in, and I'm seeing this, and it's symbolic for basically saying that a schedule or 2 people's schedules would not be ideal for kind of a cohesive relationship. If we have 2 individuals who are both very driven, doing their own things, the feeling is we want to ensure that we have enough time for a relationship to be able to have that. And that can be a challenge if 2 people are motivated and are not necessarily always together physically with where they're going. So that can definitely be the case. I would say for the current situation, so long as we can make sure distance does not end up being an issue, we're fine. Where does he live at the moment?
Where?
Yes.
In Cleveland.
I see a lot of travel for this individual, to an excessive extent that I'm kind of almost like, oh, I don't know if that would even be reasonable for them to do this much. So just remember that I'm saying that, because there will be some opportunities.
Yes, his job is to travel every other few days.
I'm just going everywhere, and it's
Okay.
What does he do for work?
He is a basketball player.
Nice. Yeah, as long as we're good with all that travel, I'm honestly not saying anything that I'm immediately concerned about.
Okay.
So that looks good.
Can Kylie come and maybe she could?
Absolutely, yeah. Let's
I
do
don't know.
it.
Kylie,
Totally.
do you want to come here with me?
I'm coming.
Awesome.
I wrote down so many notes.
Oh,
You
good.
have like 7 pages
Awesome.
of notes, so you're gonna be so good.
Yes, queen.
Well, I didn't know you had a little skin cancer on your.
I don't know if it's my vag. I think it's my breast. Because I've had a biopsy on my breast, and it was skin cancer, but not on my
sorry, I was
not on my
thinking.
vag.
Definitely not on the,
Well,
wow.
I didn't know that.
Tyler's like, what? Do you have any? What did you write down?
Yeah.
You came for your own reading.
Yeah,
That's really
I
why
really
you
come
came.
for you.
She was
I
like,
just wanted to
when is
get
it my
in.
turn?
Okay, let me think about that. Good to keep in mind, you are gonna deal with vertigo, like feeling dizzy. Do you get vertigo? Like a feeling of like
Yes,
dizzy, like I feel
all
like I
the
can't.
time.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
What about
or-
love life?
Love life? Oh,
Just really quick. I'm sorry.
I think really yeah. Let me look. Okay. I'm sorry. Look,
You said yeah.
Okay. There's a situation with someone tries to get with one sister. Okay. Someone tries to get with one sister and then tries to get with the other. What is happening? Oh my God. Does that make any sense? Oh, like,
Actually, kind of.
You do.
Yeah,
You do.
I kind of do.
You do. What about that situation?
I don't like that situation. That person, I'm not.
We'll discuss. I think we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as it makes sense to you. I'm blushing. But yes, it's all that matters. That's good. Also good to keep in mind. Basically, there's a situation with an individual from the past that we've been romantically involved with, and I basically see this individual kind of going in and out. And to me, that generally indicates that this person's kind of in our lives, and then kind of out of our lives, and then kind of in our lives, and kind of out of our lives. The feeling is basically that we want to really set healthy boundaries and say, no, you can't kind of dip your toes in and leave when you want, and can't really commit. The way this comes across. It's like, I still want to be part of your life, but I can't commit to the things that you really want me to do. It's like a really...
I know who you're talking about.
And it's still, and what's weird though is like right now it would be platonic. It's not a romantic thing right now. It would have been, but the feeling is like, it's still not a healthy reminder to have instability in that dynamic. So the feeling is like really set the terms with this individual.
Yeah, I think that's from like my childhood.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You almost met the whole family.
I know, basically I have. There's just
Right?
Kendall left is the only one, so.
I'm very grateful for all the information that I got and received, so thank you for that.
For sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I mean, this is a great experience. Just the gift that he's given is like beautiful, and I think it helps people move on and actually evolve and become better people from stuff like this. Oh, thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. I'll see you soon. If you need anything, I'm always here.
Oh,
Have
thank
a good one.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Khloé, that was so crazy. I had no idea that Kylie was gonna sit in on the reading. That was so intense.
There were so many things that he said that there was no way that you could find on the internet.
In your eyes, I see heaven.
I was 19 when my dad died, and Tyler really picked up on like the accuracy of everybody's grieving process. And it feels good to hear that my dad is proud. Of course, that's like a beautiful thing to hear. I didn't think I need validation, but it's just so cool to know, I think, how accurate Tyler is.
I could not believe what I couldn't see, but every time I looked at you, began to set me free. Your love set